What's up guys, Sheldon back with another review, and today we're looking at the super action statue Josuke Higashikata from Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4, Diamond Is Unbreakable. Whew, so we finally got through Stardust Crusaders. There's like 14 figures in that line, so it took a while, but I'm pretty glad to finally get to review Josuke. Had a few people asking for him, and he's actually my favorite Jojo. Him and the Jojolian Josuke, so I guess I just really like Josuke's for some reason. Anyway, enough about that. Let's take a look at the box really quickly. So here you go. You can kind of see some poses you can put him in, some of his accessories right here, display stand. You have the box art right here, more box art, and then box window. Alright, so speaking of accessories, here we go. So he comes with a ton of stuff. Comes with this alternate head right here, yelling face, and I'll get a better zoom in on that one. Comes with a school bag, really nicely done here. It's got some shading throughout right here. Two alternate kind of coattails. We have two, well not two, but a pair of binoculars. We have a bunch of hands, and actually it's strange, other than the two fist hands he comes with, the hands aren't the same on both sides. So we have two pointing hands. This one's more like a standard fist. This one has the thumb out. We have a straight, I suppose, chopping hand, and then we have this hand with like the two fingers out, and then you have a flared out hand here, and then you have a more relaxed hand on the left, and then you have a kind of smaller gripping hand, and then a wider gripping hand, and then you have this kind of, these I guess like jewelry, but you have this little J here, and you have two wrist cuffs, which I'll show you in a second. And actually, I have one more. I have this alternate head for him, which came with the Winter Festival Crazy Diamond figure, which I'm probably not going to review because it's just a repaint of the original Crazy Diamond. But I have it, so I'll be using it for this review in case you're wondering where it came from. Okay, so let's take a look at the figure itself. So let's do a quick measurement here. Let's see. So he's leaning back a little bit, but he stands roughly about 5 3/4, which is about roughly almost 15 centimeters. Okay, and here he is, next to Crazy Diamond right here. Crazy Diamond's a little taller, of course, as is usual for these stands. Alright, so let's take a look at Articulation. And then let's get that to focus right here. So while we're here, let's get a closer look at the alternate face here. So I like it. It's got the paint for the furrowed brows. Mouth is painted, really nice sculpt in the hair. And he's got these little rat tails here. I don't know what they're called, but very, very nice. Okay. So for the head, we have that standard hinged ball joint right here. So you can see pretty good range of motion. For the base of the neck is just a single ball joint, I believe. So it goes around right here. And then when combined, you can look at his shoes, and when you go look up, it's actually not that bad. The hair does get in the way. What I don't like about the neck, though, is this muscle at the base. I don't know if you can tell, but it just like sticks out and looks kind of unnatural. I think it's supposed to be his chest, but it just looks kind of ugly, and when you bring it too far up, there's like this really obvious gap. But what I do like is on either side, you have these emblems right here, which is an anchor and hearts, so I really like that it's asymmetrical. And again, I love these little designs right here, the peace sign and the heart. Okay, let's go to shoulder though. So we get almost horizontal, about 90 degrees. This shoulder does get in the way, and it does swivel. So, I mean, you could rotate it out of the way and get the full horizontal if you'd like. I'm just not going to bother though. And then, of course, you get the full swivel. Again, you got to move that shoulder pad along. No bicep swivel, but since it is a peg into the body and into the bicep, you can technically get a swivel out of it right here. And then same with the elbows right here, peg into the bicep, peg into the forearm, so you can rotate it on either side. So let's see. Yeah, you can get some. I'm not a fan of this design though, because the elbow pad does get in the way. And of course, elbow double jointed, so you get better than 90 degrees right here. And then for the wrist, it is the, I don't know, is this a hinged ball peg? I don't know what the joint is called, but pretty standard for this line though. So you have this hinge, you can actually rotate it too if you'd like. The wrist is actually really limited in articulation though, because the sleeve comes down so far, so you can't see the joint, but you can see how far it comes up into the fist, and so you can see all you get is this, and like almost none going this way because of this. It is soft, but it still limits articulation. Alright, for the ab right here, I think it's single ball joint, so pretty decent range of motion right here. I think you might even be able to get a full 180 if you'd like. And then for the waist, this is just a swivel. Yeah, so right here, ab crunch going forward, not that much actually, going back, not that much. Side to side is alright. Alright, for the hips, let's take a look at the coattails right here. So these actually just come out and they're on pegs. And so the alternate coattail right here, you can see it is meant for you to be able to bring the leg forward or out. So here is the original one. You can see how it's close and tight to the leg. This one's flared out and a little bit forward. That's so you can go like this and bring it forward more. And I really, really like this because I remember with the Kakyoin when he had the coattails, it was hard and it like really limited his leg articulation. So it's really nice touch. I'm going to take them off though just so you can see the articulation a little bit better. Okay, so for the hips right here, ball joints, and then you have a thigh swivel right here. So really good range of motion if you take the coattails off. If you leave them on, of course, they're going to limit. And then for the knees, double jointed, so really good range of motion if I recall. Yeah, pretty good. And I believe it's a peg up into the thigh, so I think technically you should be able to swivel it, but the kneecap, as you can see, is kind of big, so it's probably not going to let you. Okay, and then here, though, we have the super action statue weakness again, the ankle articulation. So it looks really nice because the pant leg comes down to the shoe, and it looks natural, and this piece is floating. But the articulation is almost non-existent, so going back, it's actually not that bad, but going forward is, like, almost none. And there is that toe hinge here. Surprisingly, though, the ankle rocker is pretty good, so you can actually still get to bend. So it's not bad, but I believe it could be better, but it looks good, so I suppose that's a trade-off. Okay, one more thing before I go. The J right here, like you mentioned before, you can see that there's like a little hook right here, and all you do is you kind of just slip it underneath right here. And there you go. I'm pretty sure it's a separate piece just because it's kind of fragile. And be careful with this piece. It is small and it falls off fairly easily. And I've had it fall off on me before and I've had to like reach under a table to find it. So be careful. And of course these two wrist, I don't know, bracelets, bangles, whatever you call them. You can see they're pretty simple to put on. You just kind of snap them on here and hopefully I can do it on camera. This is kind of a pain. Okay, there you go. So, just more nice touches for you. So you can see that he originally has the orange, or not orange, gold, like bracelet already. So this one is really just to help you get that bigger thing right here. Alright, so that pretty much does it for articulation and accessories. And then let's talk paint and sculpt though. So, I really do like this figure. Again, it is my favorite Jojo. Well, I do like the character, and I didn't like the design originally because I didn't like his hair. And despite it being mostly one color, I think it's done well. So you can see that there's a lot of the light and blue shading throughout. So even though it's fairly monochromatic throughout, it still looks pretty good. I do like that there is the gold kind of jewelry and decorations throughout, and the green shoes, and the yellow undershirt, and it breaks it really nicely. And again, sculpt is really nice. There's sprinkles throughout and all that. So overall, I think it's a pretty great figure. If you're a fan of Jojo, this is easily a pickup. It's a fantastic figure, pretty good articulation, not as good as the first few, of course, like Joseph. And he comes with a ton of accessories. Plus, he just got re-released, or he's about to get re-released. So you can get him for a fairly good price. It's like 38 yen, which is about $35. So pretty good overall. Even if you're not a fan of Jojo, I would still recommend this character. over this figure. Again, kind of a standard student type of figure, but comes with a lot of stuff, and it's pretty solid overall. Okay, well, that pretty much does it for this review, though. If you enjoyed it, feel free to give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe. I'm going to put this guy in some poses at the end. Alright guys, thanks for watching.